Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a 1959-inspired limited edition of 159 pieces. It is the Breitling Navitimer Chronograph 1959 edition in rose gold. It's 41 millimeters in diameter by 13.8 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip. It is 48.8 millimeters and has a nice modern spacing of 22 millimeters between the lugs. When you throw it on the wrist, it's a substantial watch, but it's not oversized. The timepiece is close to history and close to historical precedent in its sizing, the biggest difference being the broad 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. That's what really betrays it as a modern watch. It fits well, though, being less than 49 millimeters across the wrist. I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference, and a lot of the thickness is actually the domed sapphire, so it will fit fairly easily underneath a dress cuff, and this watch would function well as a dress watch. There's a formality to this color palette. We also have a large and thick cut calfskin strap. There's a lot of bolstering in here to add body. You can see that the layers of leather are immense. There's a contrasting binding stitch. It is light brown, and then on the underside you can see it is a more conventional calfskin. It is a brand new Breitling factory strap. We have a pin buckle right here that features a little bit of an outward bevel on its side, but otherwise it's very conventional. A polished and satinated Breitling pin buckle. The case band is distinctively vintage. As you can see, the watch includes a relatively narrow case band, a relatively narrow set of lugs that are nice and skinny and tapered and squared off with a bit of a transitional bevel on the edge. This is designed to evoke the 1959 watch. We also have a beaded bezel, which is evocative of older Navitimers. And then we have a dial that includes a tribute to AOPA wings. It doesn't say AOPA, but it is AOPA wing logo in all but name, because back in 1952 or 54, whenever you believe the first Navitimer launched, it was sold in the United States through the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, and those early Navitimers bore the AOPA wing logo. Now, the Navitimer was a follow-up to the Chronomat from the 1940s. The Chronomat was designed to be a circular slide rule calculator watch, while the Navitimer, with specific units added, such as miles per hour and kilometers, was designed to be a more sophisticated logarithmic scale circular slide rule. The idea being you could perform calculations relating to drift, rate of climb, rate of fuel consumption, ground speed, and airspeed using this slide rule calculator, and you can still use it that way to this day. You can learn it in about 5 minutes. It's very simple. We have a couple of different colors on this dial. We have black, we have silver, and then we have a couple of different rose gold tones. You'll note that the lume is a photina, simulated patina, and we'll get a quick look at how that looks right now. It's actually a quite well-loomed watch with Arabic numerals. Taking a quick look at the dial base, you can see that there are 3 sunken sub-registers contrasting in silver. We have a vintage-inspired minutes track, which you'll appreciate has the little 3-minute increments marked, because in the middle of the 20th century, that's how long-distance phone calls tended to be built, in 3-minute increments, and it was quite pricey at the time. We have gold syringe hands at center, and then we have lovely radially arrayed numerals on all of the registers. So you can see, even though the Arabic numerals of the dial are vertical, the sub-register numerals are radially laid out. Now, what you can't see here is what's underneath the case back. Breitling caliber B09. What's important to know is that that movement is the B01 chronograph caliber converted to manual wind. Breitling wanted to make this watch as true to history as possible. That includes changes like a manual wind conversion of the movement and the use of a true plexiglass crystal, just like the historic original, rather than a more modern sapphire. The movement is manual wind with a 70-hour power reserve. It features a hacking or stop seconds function, so you can halt the movement just like that. It has a combination of a column wheel for function selection and cycling, and then a vertical clutch for smooth engagement. If you want to just leave it running full time with a vertical clutch, you can do that without additional wear and tear. I've often said the pusher feel of the column wheel caliber B01 and its derivatives is co-equally best in the business with certain Longa and Rolex chronographs, and that is sustained here. We also have a COSC chronometer certification on this movement, which is adjusted in 5 positions, beats away at 8 beats per second, is protected down to 30 meters, and features 39 joules. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Breitling Navitimer Chronograph 1959 edition of 159 pieces.